Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Claw, season 2, episode 6. Like, OMG. Did you see Polly and her yellow and black and socks and red shoes she had on? She had on red shoes with the little socks that you fold over and you have the little ruffles around. She had on baby girl socks. Like, what is up with Polly? There she is right there. See them red shoes right there with her yellow and like green outfit? Polly's a trip. I love the way Desna dressed too. I even like the way Karuchi dressed. I like the way Jennifer dressed. I like the way Ann dressed too as well because I like their style. Their style is pretty nice. Roller even dresses cool. Even Uncle Daddy. I like their outfits go with their character. That's what I like. Even Dean, his outfits go with his character. Even Ken, his outfit goes with his character too as well. Even Jenn. So let's get started. This was a crazy episode. Oh, Aslata is no good. She's low down and she's dirty. She using that womanhood and sister card, and she played Desna like a fiddle and broke this woman's heart with all this bullshit. And then Dr. Gregory, OMG, like his whole job, his whole everything with Desna was to convince her to marry him and fall in love, to be with her, because he wants to get her business, because everything is in Desna's name. And once, Dr. Gregory, once he marries Desna, then the Russian women will have more say and more control, and they can get rid of Desna. And then, Dr. George and, Aslata can take over. Isn't that shady and low down and dirty that this man played her the whole time? This is what happens sometimes when people marry people. They be in it for something else. They want something else. They don't like you. They never liked you. They never loved you, wanted to be with you. They played it to get what's in your pockets, to get what you got. I'm like low down and dirty. And did you see Jenn get on top of, what's his name, Bryce, in the hospital and gave him some coochie coo, and he woke up because he got that coochie coo. That's all he needed. So now they back together, family all once again. He was almost knocking on death's door, but he's not. And then, oh no, Jennifer's old boyfriend, the guy that does the country, the line dancing, he shows up and he gets beat up and he's watching through the window. Damn, he really loves Jennifer. He really loves her. That's a damn shame. But she's married and she's in love with somebody else. That hurts when you're in love with somebody, when you're in love with someone and that someone else loves somebody else. And Karuchi in her outfits, I was like, go Karuchi. And she's taking care of the kids. I thought that was really funny. But Desna finding herself, Desna finding her inner strength, getting her power back to take these mother suckers down, and Uncle Daddy turning to Jesus, turning to God. I was like, oh no, they're Roller being stupid, trying to fight as Lata. Come on. So anyways, let's get going. We're still at the hospital. Everybody's crying. They're like everybody's there from the shop. Uncle Daddy, Roller, he's there. I don't know why they didn't even question Roller, like, where you been? We've been trying to call you. I don't know why Roller's not upset that they made a move without him, but he was taking care of his son. But I'm so surprised nobody questioned him. But then Jennifer comes in and she blames Desna. It's all your fault, Desna. Get out of here. You don't belong here. This is like the second time Jennifer, like the first season, Jennifer blamed Desna for something. Like, Desna's always getting blamed for something. It wasn't her fault the Russians came in, but she kept the boat. She kept everything going. She's keeping money in everybody's pocket, keeping them out of jail, and she has a tight organization, but she don't get her just due. And when Asleta comes in, she gave her just due, but she was only using her. So, Desna, she don't know what to do. She feels betrayed. She felt hurt. She felt like Jennifer turned her back on her. Her girls turned their back, and then she find out that, Dr. George is sleeping with, Aslata, and they're playing her. So she runs, she gets Dean, and they go soul searching, and they go back into the past where Desna has to rebuild herself because she felt hurt like she was a little girl. She had nobody to turn to, nobody really to talk to yet, to express her feelings to really understand. Because before, remember, her girls in the shop, especially Jenn, was hating. They was like, oh, you Aslata's, number one. She's your day one. And like, oh, you got a car, you got this. And everybody's like, oh, congratulating her because Dr. George, he give her roses and wanted to marry her. So now all that shit is fugazi. It ain't real. So she goes on a soul search, and she's looking for her old foster mother. So it was good to see, the past of Desna and Dean traveling. She got into a Lexus, and everybody. So as Zlata, she comes into the shop looking for Desna, and Desna's not there. And they're like, oh, she's sick, she's not feeling good. As Lata, she passed by the house and she see that, Desna's car is still there. So they was like, okay, she is sick. And as Lata, she's telling Dr. George, hurry up and marry her. Hurry up and do this so we can get this paperwork signed and be done with it. I was like, damn. And Zlata was like, we got to kill Uncle Daddy. She said, Uncle Fatty got to die. She sent the Russians to the hospital. And guess what? They killed the wrong dude. They killed the wrong guy. Like, oh, no. And, what's his name? Rolla is trying his best to convince Uncle Daddy to hide, to go somewhere because, Rolla went to go see Eslata and she said, I'm going to kill your baby. I'm going to kill your baby. I don't give a shit. And had him beat up and choked because he went and he grabbed Eslata by the neck, threw it down on the table, was on top of her, and her bodyguards, her brother, whoever they are, they came down there and they was on top of Rolla and it was like, we'll kill your baby. I was like, oh no. And so, no, he's trying to tell Uncle Daddy, like, we got to go. He just got his ass beaten. He's lucky he didn't get killed because he's part of the family right now. And so he has Desna. She's in her Lexus with her brother Dean. And she goes to the beach. And she's like, it's like she was trying to get a cleansing. I knew she wasn't trying to drown herself. It was really something deep because, she was getting into water. A lot of black women don't like getting into water with their hair done. Their hair got to be tied up in a bun or something. She was about to get it all wet, but she didn't. So Dean, grabbed her, whatever. And so then, Jennifer's ex-boyfriend, he shows up, the lime dancer or the rabbi, he shows up and get his ass beat by Rolla. And, and it's like, damn, he had a teddy bear. He was like, we friends. He felt so bad. He was standing outside of the hospital looking up at the window like, damn, partner, it's bad for business. And so Desna, she breaks into her old school house that she used to live at as a foster child. Dean was like, this is against the law. This is a B&E. They go inside, they look around, and they started having memories about them. So we find out, well, I guess we already knew that Desna's mom was on drugs. And this lady, Miss Wallace, I don't know her name, Miss Walker or something like that. She was instrumental in Desna and Dean's life. She was nice. She treated them well. She told Desna, like, when the mother was coming to take them away, that you always have a light in you that shines so bright. When you ever see that light getting weak, come back and see me. Or, and stay strong and all that other good stuff. As they went to go be with their mother, and they have memories about, them going to school and get picked on. And, Desna fighting off the bullies, Desna playing double dutch, Desna trying to get herself back. So she's trying to find this foster mother to say, my light is gone. And the foster mother, she's in a nursing home. She's old or whatever. And so they find the daughter. Then they get to the nursing home. And so they was like, oh, they remember each other. It's like, oh, you guys look just the same. And then Dean was like, oh, you look the same, but just older and grayer. I was like, Dean, come on. And so, what's her name? Desna is telling the foster mother the story, like, Miss Walker, Miss Wallace, like, hey, listen, you told me if my light ever gets dark to come back and find you. She was like, girl, that's just some shit some people say. I don't remember. I can't remember shit. I can't even remember to put on my underwears half the time. I was like, oh no, I thought that was funny. And so she was like, you always been an ass kicker. You always been this. You always been that. You always been in charge. You know what to do. And so I guess she just needed that reminder so she can get back to her old self, because her new self got played and got hurt. And she probably feel like she doesn't still got that oomph, because how did she let them come in and use her and abuse her like the way they did? I was just like, damn. So we got Polly. She's babysitting the kids. Jennifer's kids. She's at the park with Ann, and she walks up with her little character acting like, she's a madam. She is a madam, telling these ladies, hey, there's some guys here at this bar, come down, like she's doing her thing. We got Dr. Ken. He's still chilling with the police, and then he wears a wire and he goes to the hospital, and he goes like, you guys been up to any crimes? He says that to Uncle Daddy and Rolla and Jennifer, like, what's going on, and trying to get information. It was like, it's so horrible. Ann's ex-girlfriend or girlfriend now, and the other cop was like, he is just so horrible, like, I hate him. Ken is so stupid. Ken was like, you want to go to Applebee's so we can talk? I was like, Ken is so messed up. So Ken wants to get protection. He wants to be in witness protection, and he wants to bring Polly with him. So only way he can do that if he marries her. So now he wants to try to marry Polly, but I think Polly's probably already married, or she got some legal shit going on where she can't marry him. I don't know. I that's what I believe. Because it seems like she doesn't really want to marry him. And so Bryce, he wakes up because, Jennifer's on top of him, giving him that good, that wood. And he wakes up, he's all happy, everything's good. And now Rolla's trying to get Uncle Daddy out the picture, trying to get him to go hide somewhere, but Uncle Daddy don't want to go nowhere. So Rolla's like, yo, let's snitch on the Haitian, let's snitch on Eslata, come on, call Chip, call Chip, we gotta call Chip. Or whatever. And so Rolla tells Uncle Daddy, hey, listen, Eslata said she's gonna kill my baby. He said, not my first baby, my first grandborn. Oh God. And so he calls Chip and he set up a meeting, but Chip is working for Eslata and called her and was like, hey, listen, this dude done called me to meet up. And then that's when, Desna is in the office with Eslata, and she overhears that Chip is setting up Uncle Daddy, so she let Uncle Daddy know what was going on. But, Desna actually get herself together after she goes on this journey to find herself, and Dean just wants to go home. He wants to go back to the mansion, and so she goes to the hospital and she tells Jennifer what's going on, that she's getting played by Eslata and she's getting played by Dr. George. And she was like, you're right, Jen, it's all my fault. I don't really think it is. And so she was like, okay, I got your back. I'm your ride or die chick. She was like, yeah, you my ride or die. You're my ride or die. And then that's when that no good Dr. George done walked in, because he just got a phone call from Eslata telling him to hurry up and do this thing. So he goes find, Desna, and he's talking to her and he's trying to touch her and trying to make out with her, whatever, trying to say that he loves her. And she bites him because she's sick of him. She don't like him. She's hurt by him. And she was like, oh, I'm just being flirty. I'm just being nasty. That's a lot you don't know about me. He was like, oh, I like that. I like that. She was like, watch, you'll see. You'll see what you're going to get. Yes, I'm very feisty. So we'll see what happens with that situation. Is she gonna actually be able to take out, the Haitian Dr. George, and will she be able to get Eslata? Will we see it this season? That's what I want to know. And so now Desna's on her way to make business, to make plans. She goes see Eslata, and that's when she wants Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy goes meet Chip, and when he shows up, Uncle Daddy shoots him right with a 4.4, a shotgun. Boom, blew him up, blew him in the air. He hit the floor. Then we got Dr. Ken. He got on his wire. And so we have Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy's going to stay at, at Polly's house. And, Ken is, working for the police. And then, I know Ken feels kind of happy because now we got Uncle Daddy. And now the police can listen to what's going on. I don't know, but they will feel comfortable talking to Ken. So then Ken, he comes in. He sees Uncle Daddy. He don't give a shit about Uncle Daddy. He's trying to marry Polly. He takes her in the back room and asks her to marry him. And she was like, hell no. I like it here. I like my life. She was like, I'm a madam. I'm this. I'm that. I know it's against the law. And she's saying that all on tape. So now it could backfire where Polly goes to jail, or they can get Polly's not going to ever wear a wire. But now they can force Dr. Ken to really hurry up and get into the information, get what we need from Uncle Daddy, from Desna, and from, everybody that's around in your circle to hurry up. Because if not, we're going to take down Polly. So Polly's going to be used as a ploy, I believe, to make Ken do what he's supposed to do. I'm surprised Ken hasn't told anybody that he's wearing a wire or anything like that. So maybe he might tell Desna or Uncle Daddy or somebody, and they can flip it around and get the Russians in trouble, because Ken is wearing a wire. The police are listening. So if they can have Ken around, or if they can put the wire on somebody else, I don't know, because they can use that wire to frame, Dr. George and, Eslata. But I don't know how they're going to be able to do that. So we'll see what happens. And we see Ann ain't really been seeing her girlfriend in this episode. So what's going on, Ann? Your girl's busy trying to bring you down. And it's just like, damn, like she don't even know. So Chip is gone. He gets killed. And then, Desna, she gets home and she sees a wedding dress and invitation because they trying to push this marriage, and she burns that motherfucking dress. And so I don't know how she's going to do it, but she's going to have to hold off the wedding. So she's going to have to come up with some stuff or whatever. But Eslata, And Desna seemed to be on the same page. That's why as lots of things, she was like, "Get Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy's disrespectful, so Uncle Daddy's hiding out." But Desna is coming up with a plan, and she gonna have her girls. And we also get to see, Virginia. She actually see how hard and difficult it is to run that shop, and so she calls Desna and says, "I miss you, and I can understand your job is hard. Your job is difficult. You're a very strong person. This and that." And Desna was on that spiritual trip to find that person that Virginia was talking about to her on the phone. So we'll see what happens. I was just like, Peace, somehow, one love.